So, you're probably wondering, what is Turtle WoW? Should I start this server? How is it for new players? I am by no means a new player. I've been playing World of Warcraft since 2005, and I've been playing Turtle WoW since around, I would say 2020 or 2021, so definitely not new in that aspect. However, I haven't really been playing a lot of Turtle WoW lately, and that's because I already leveled to level 60 on my Hunter, and of course I cover all different private servers, so I really only hopped on when I needed to for new content to check it out for videos and such. Though lately I've been getting a little bit of the I just kind of want to chill and level itch, if you know what I mean. So I've been wanting to make a new character. That's when I created my warrior, and I was leveling by myself. I'm now currently, I believe, level 34. With that being said, I also have friends that I have introduced into Turtle WoW, two of which you would have seen on my stream. The most recent stream that I have done, I did with my friend Kim. I also call her Talena, as that is the character I met her on years ago. She is, I would say, a World of Warcraft veteran. We've been playing together since 2010. We've been playing since the Cataclysm days. Now, she quit, I would say, roughly around Legion to BFA. I don't quite remember when, and she hasn't played World of Warcraft at all since then. She's been wanting to get back into the game, especially after watching a clip on YouTube of somebody playing classic WoW. So I introduced her to Turtle WoW to play with me, and just to let you know, she has gotten re-addicted to World of Warcraft. She's even getting her roommates and her friends and even her brother all into Turtle WoW. It's amazing how this community grows so fast. Now, the second player you would have already known from many streams that I have done. Michael, also known as Maku. He is a player that has never ever played World of Warcraft before. He may have heard about it in passing, but never knew anything about it. So it was interesting to get his perspective too, as a completely brand new player. Before I get into the rest of the experiences you may encounter as a brand new player, I want to give you their thoughts. Starting off with Michael, I had him tell me in Discord what he thinks about Turtle WoW or just World of Warcraft in general, and he responded back, "It's fun to play by yourself, but more fun to play with your friends. I had no idea about WoW lore before, and now I can listen to your rants all day long because of how similar it is to other settings. Plus, coming from D&D and other things that are similar, if not identical, I think the community is nice enough and is surprisingly active for an older game. I don't always know what exactly is going on, but it's easy enough to follow where other people are going to find out, and it's always nice to see other people in a multiplayer game." Now, I definitely have some things to say about his comment, though first let's get into my other friend's comment on Turtle WoW. She basically says that she doesn't really know how she feels about Turtle WoW as a server, but she has been enjoying the nostalgia. And also she is struggling with playing by herself because she forgot how hard it was to play by herself with all of the enemies hitting you like a truck. Remember, the last time she played World of Warcraft was roughly around Legion or BFA, where you could pull everything, do one attack, and they all die. So it is definitely an adjustment for her, but she's catching on real quick, especially because she's already familiar enough with the game. Now then, when it comes to Turtle WoW itself and starting off as a new player, what is it that you're going to notice off the bat? What is it that's going to be new to you if you've played World of Warcraft before but are not familiar with this server in particular? Well, first things first, the population. As my friend said, it's amazing to see so many people in not only a private server, but a private server of a 20-year-old game, a classic game as it were. During my days in the last, I would say, few weeks playing this on multiple different characters, I've noticed that the population can range anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000 people on at a time, and this could be any time from the slums to the peak of the day. Typically, when I've been playing with my friends in the afternoon to evening of the Eastern Standard Time of America, if that's going to give you a little bit of perspective on when the peak is. But with so many new players, and just players in general who are making new characters, new hardcore characters, it does lead to a little bit of issue. First of all, Many zones have fast respawn timers, also known as dynamic spawning. The ones that I have noticed at least are Durotar, Elwyn, Red Ridge, the Barrens, Westfall, and Duskwood. Now, Durotar and Elwyn, I believe, are phased. The reason why I say that is because when you enter in Durotar or Elwyn, you will notice that everything suddenly phases in and out. I would not be surprised if they did it because there are so many people in these starting zones. The other zones, I did not notice that at all, as I've also played in Mulgore and a few other areas such as Teldrassil. The reason why they would do that, if it is happening, which I'm pretty 90% sure it is because there are so many people, so it's to take the strain off of the server with so much of the population being in one zone. While not expanse in some areas, some zones, mainly Durotar's, what I'm going to focus on in a second here, are full of tons of brand new quests for you to explore. These quests are pretty much Turtle WoW exclusive quests, but they're written in the same vein as a typical vanilla or classic style quest. A ton of them you can do at the same time as the original quest, and it will not interrupt the flow. However, there are times that I've noticed that some of these quests do take you out of the flow, which is kind of annoying, and I end up having to skip them for that reason. Durotar has Sparkwater Port, for an example. At least 2 or 3 of those quests, you could do it at the same time as your normal quests. Now, there are a lot of other quests there, but some of them which you could do in the Durotar zone seem to take you out of the flow and are not really as good to do, while others you can only do once you're ready for the Barrens, and it will send you to Ratchet and in other places, which is not too bad. Having other quests for higher level or at least mid-level areas is better. Elwyn doesn't seem to have an area just like Sparkwater Port, but there are some brand new quests that you can find in Goldshire. One brand new quest chain that I found in Westfall is the Harvest Golem Mystery Quest. This quest is one that you can acquire very early on, and it will take you all throughout Westfall. Not only that, it will eventually take you into Red Ridge Mountains and eventually into Duskwood. It's a quest chain that pretty much spans 10 levels, but by the end you are rewarded with a blue item that is amazing. Leveling up in the earlier zones will also take you to the dungeons. Now, there are no brand new dungeons at this early in the leveling, but there are new areas and new bosses within the already existing dungeons, such as the Dead Mines, Wailing Caverns, Stockades, and more. In Wailing Caverns, for an example, when I was leveling my warrior, we found a brand new, I would say, mossy area with a moss giant boss. And there was even another cove over near where the Thay Dragon spawns that has a bunch of centaur and a centaur boss. Meanwhile, in the Dead Mines, there's a branch off in the first room that leads to a boss battle, and further on, there's a whole golem assembly area, which is part of the golem mystery quest chain that I mentioned earlier. This is all great for spicing up the gameplay early on. Now, there's 2 last things that I wish to go through for this video. That would be the Jewelcrafting and the brand new racial starting zones for the Goblins and the High Elves. The High Elves have already utilized the area above Stratholme for their city, and it's been like that for a while. However, it has gotten a full revamp. Not only has the city gotten a little bit of a facelift, and it looks a lot better than it used to, but the areas outside of it, including that entire zone, have been turned into the starting zone. Originally, the starting zone for the High Elves took place in Loch Modan in a tiny little area that you could complete in maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Now, it is a full level 1 to 10 leveling zone. It is an open world area, so it's not like the Goblin or Worgen zones in Cataclysm where they're completely phased off and you cannot revisit it. Any player can visit it at any level, and the Blood Elf, or rather High Elves, can leave at any level. They don't have to stay there, which is perfect in my opinion. That is how it should be. The Goblins, on the other hand, originally had their own little area in the Stone Talon Mountains. It has completely changed to be an island off the coast of Durotar. They don't really have a big grand city like the High Elves, but they do have Sparkwater Port inside of Durotar. So once they're done with the starting area, or if they're just tired of it, they can take a plane at any level to fly them to Sparkwater Port. And now for the Jewelcrafting. Jewelcrafting is a brand new profession, a primary profession, that has been introduced into Turtle WoW. Now, why do I say brand new when Jewelcrafting is in the retail version of the game? It was introduced in the TBC. Well, that's because this is not quite like the TBC Jewelcrafting. This one is primarily for creating things like rings, necklaces, you can make tiaras, staves, and anything kind of jewelry like, or you would say regal and expensive. You would use it by the mining skill, mining up copper, getting bronze, gold, silver, iron, and creating what would be blanks. These ring blanks would be also a resource that you would use to craft your own rings. Now, I'm going to specifically talk about rings because it's a little bit easier than going into all the different branches, but as I said before, you have the blanks, which are a resource that you make just from, smelting copper or iron or what have you. From there, you can make whatever style of ring, granted if you have the recipe learned from the trainer or find it out in the world, which, by the way, there are plenty of recipes out in the world. I have found several already in my early gameplay of my Night Elf that I've been playing with my friend. Different rings that you make will have different stats, but also require specific gems. Now, gems you can naturally get through mining. Sometimes you can find them in treasure chests or off of enemies, but typically not enough to really level up Jewelcrafting. Well, not to worry. By sacrificing some iron ore, really just one, and some sandpaper that you can make with the Jewelcrafting profession by using rough stones or color stones or any kind of stone really, with the appropriate leveled cloth such as linen or wool, you'd be able to turn that iron ore into a randomized gem. Really, it turns into like a little item that you click on and then it randomly generates you a gem of the appropriate level. So that's a quick way to get gems if you're falling behind on your stash. Of course, I'm telling you all about the early levels of Jewelcrafting. Later on, you should be able to make items that would have sockets, and you can gem those sockets just like in the older versions of the game, such as TBC and Wrath of the Lich King. Of course, again, that is for endgame, and only Jewelcrafters will be able to do it. But still, for early game, getting necklaces and rings that have such bonuses and stats in it is really good. There's a ring that you can make with a minor troll blood potion that basically gives you the effect of the potion, but it lasts forever as long as you have the ring on it. That's really good, especially all of the other ones that you can get with stamina or agility or spirit. So many different stats that you could choose from, and it only gets better as you level. Also, a quick tip for anyone who is looking to play Turtle WoW, always look for a tent. The same tent that everybody's going to be sitting under. You'll see them in Elwyn, you'll see them in Durotar, and typically areas that have a high population. But if you see a blue little tent, sit under it. It will raise up your rested experience really quickly, and by having rested experience, you will get twice as much experience from kills. This is a natural way of raising the experience gain on this server so you can level a little bit faster. But anyway, that is the end of this video, the new player experience of Turtle WoW. Let me know what you think. Are you a new player? Are you an experienced player? Are you an older player? Let me know down below what you think, and if you like videos like this, or hearing about other private servers, news, coverage, gameplay, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.